we go. Okay, so this will be available for those who are not able to be on live with us tonight. But wow, what a fantastic crowd we've got here tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us for our week 2 Q&A for our Crossline Game Plan Squad boot camp. I'm Trisha Bart. I'm one of your Crossline leaders. And I make my home in Spokane, Washington. If we just want to go ahead and say, hey, the other leaders that are on.
Hey, this is Susan Johnson. I am from Rhode Island, so I am the opposite coast completely, and so excited to see so many people on.
And I'm Melissa Russo. I'm joining you today from Scranton, Pennsylvania, so I'm super excited, and I'm loving the energy of this game plan, and so excited to be watching everybody progress.
Hey everyone, I'm Laura Erdman-Luntz, and I'm from the middle. So I'm from Minnesota, right in the middle of the country. So, and you guys, y'all have been rocking this out. I'm so impressed. It's quite a feat, and I have to say this game plan is crazy amazing. So it's been really fun to take you all through this.
Absolutely. So I don't know, we haven't really spoken about this in the training itself because we're going through it chapter by chapter. But with my other leaders who have been through the training, we're already into the week 1 tasks, right? Because it's after June 1st. So hopefully you have an accountability sheet that you grabbed and have filled out with your June classes. You know, you've gone back and you did your post-mortem on May, the things that went really well, the things that you want to take a look at and tweak. Tonight we're here to answer questions that you may have about what we've covered in day 5 through 10 or anything that's come up so far. Day 5 through 10 is really digging in. It's giving you a marketing system. It's giving you all different ideas on classes. It's helping you get over those excuses. But yes, that was this week too. Remember, all the way back to Monday. And also your follow-up system. So this is the real nuts and bolts. And I bet you got a lot of questions for us. So I'll just start with the ones that were posted on in our Facebook group. This was from Mary. Let's see, is Mary on tonight? I don't see her, but I'm going to go ahead and read it off. She said, questions on the follow-up, an area I'm super bad at. Anybody else feel that way? I'm agreeing. I hate picking up the phone. Ugh. So follow-up is challenging for me. Okay, she says, I'm super bad at it. How would the 3-10-30 system work for anyone that didn't sign up at the class? Would you still follow the same time frames for contacting them? Remember the 3-10-30, the idea of you follow up after 3 days, 10 days, and again after 30. So would one of our leaders like to speak to that, or anyone else on the call want to speak to that?
I'll start, and I will say that, okay, so this is for, what was, Trisha, can you reread the questions for people who didn't get a kit?
Yes, absolutely. This question is, how would the 3-10-30 system work for anyone that didn't sign up at the class? Would you still follow the same time frames for contacting them?
It depends. I do the 3-day. Actually, I do the next day or even later that day. I do it even faster initially because the first 24 hours are crucial just to see what, and I'd love to hear what you guys do too, just to see why they didn't sign up and to connect with them and find out if they have more questions, anything I can answer. Maybe they were running late. And then if they are someone who says, I'm just not interested, don't call me again, but then of course I don't do any more with them. So I don't do the 10-30. So I just find out where they are with that and then go from there based on their response.
Yeah, and I think too that, you know, if there's somebody that's rushing out and you haven't had a chance to actually close with them, you know, sometimes at the end of the night, there's people that are like, I really got to go. That's your real opportunity to follow up with them and really ask some great questions. You know, the ones that kind of think they're sneaking out, those are the ones you have the best luck with because they've given you that opportunity to follow up with them. So I think that that's really big. And I think that regardless of whether they get a kit or not, you know, you really want to find out, you know, if they didn't get a kit, you know, again, use that whole Eric Worre thing, you know, do you mind, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, how interested you are in essential oils? Well, oh, I'm really interested. I mean, I'd say that's probably about an 8. Okay, you know, are you interested in getting a kit at this time? Well, no. Okay, well, you know, what can I do? You know, what information do you need that might help you if you're so interested but unsure? How can I help you get what you need? And you have to play with it in your own way. You have to learn to be comfortable with saying those things. And it will never be comfortable the first 3 times. I'm going to tell you that right now. But you have to figure out a way to make it feel more comfortable.
I agree, because those people came to your class for a reason. You know, maybe they were dragged there kicking and screaming and they're never going to get started. Okay. But the majority of them are there because they really are curious. They like you, they know you, they trust you, or they have a friend that knows, likes, and trusts you. And so they're there for a reason. I actually think that 3-10-30 is specifically for the people that don't get started in the class. When someone gets started in your class, I encourage you to schedule an appointment with them right then and there to follow up with them when they get their kit, so that you can walk through them, through the kit with them. Make sure that they're comfortable with their diffuser and how to use the oils. Whether you do it one-to-one in person, which is awesome, or if you have to do it over some kind of device like Zoom. But I think the 3-10-30 is specifically for people who don't get started. Any other thoughts on that? Yeah, Amanda.
I typed it in as well, but what about your follow-up with Facebook events? How have people effectively followed up on a Facebook event?
That's a great question. I have not done a lot of online 101s. Is there someone else that has a fair amount of experience with, or any experience with Facebook 101s?
I have none. I'm starting my first ones this month, believe it or not.
Yay, Susan.
Are you surprised?
Yay. I can speak to that actually, because I start with Facebook. I start even before it begins. So I tag the people that I think, usually try and keep it between 5 to 7 personally, because the follow-up takes a lot of work. It takes a lot more work, I find, to do Facebook follow-ups than it does doing in-person. In-person events, while it may seem like more work to get them going, to clean your house, et cetera, to get people signed up is way easier than doing the virtual events. For me, that's been my experience. But I start beforehand. So if I know someone's gonna love these, I say, hey, I'm so excited to see you at tonight's event. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's make sure we can hop on the phone right afterwards. Or tomorrow morning, and to talk about it. I set up the appointment before the event if that's possible. If they don't get back to me, or I don't have, we don't have something set up, I watch for their comments, and I will Facebook. If they say, oh my gosh, this thieves cleaner looks amazing, I will message them right there. Yes, it absolutely is. We've got to talk. So I keep that energy up as much as I can, because I don't always have these people's cell phones. Their numbers, all I have is their Facebook info. Does that help, Amanda?
And actually, Laura, I think that's a good point. Alana, I'll get right to you. I think it's a good point. If to continue to reach out to people the way that they've contacted you in the first place. So if you've been in touch with someone through Facebook and they use Facebook Messenger, stay in touch with them that way. Don't just suddenly switch over to texting them. You may lose them that way. Keep in touch the way they like to stay in touch. Alana, did you have something you'd like to add?
Yes, when I did my Facebook Live, that's exactly what I did. Like, I followed up through Facebook Messenger, and then the people who wanted to know more, I actually did, there's the Facebook, like a Zoom almost, but you can do that, the Facebook video, and then you're like face to face with the person, even if they may live, like my one friend that signed up under me was in Florida. So we get together on that Facebook Messenger, the Messenger video, and we keep in contact that way. And then when she has any questions or she found something new that worked for her, we get together and we talk that way. So that's a big help.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And
Love the
I don't know
Facebook
about
Messenger.
anybody else. Yeah, Amanda, do you have something?
I love the Facebook Messenger video chat. You can also do it in a small group setting too. So you can do it like a Zoom. So you can have 3 or 4 people on, very similar to this setting.
Yes.
That's awesome. I'm just learning about this. Thank y'all.
And you can feel like you're actually together versus a text message or a phone call where you're on a device.
Very
Right,
cool.
and you can actually do almost a one-on-one that way. And it's like you are still in the same room together, versus when you're doing a live and nobody can talk back to you, they're messaging, but you're trying to do a 101 speech. You can't necessarily answer everyone's questions while you're going, because it's going to slow down your time. You know what I mean? It's going to make your video really long and people are going to lose interest. So it's easier when you do it this way, and you can, you know, you're face to face. So it's a little bit more personal too.
That's beautiful, Alana. This is Melissa. I don't have my video on right now. I just wanted to also share Messenger is a great way to follow up with people that say they're interested in the class beforehand, to confirm that they're coming, for the people that are saying they're going, but especially afterwards, because we all know that we invite so many people say they're coming, and then so many people actually come. So using Messenger on Facebook events to follow up with people that were interested in coming, beginning to create a relationship and get to know them and what their reason was for saying they were interested, and getting them the information however is going to work for them, whether it's a one-on-one in person, whether it's a coffee, whether it's a chat video feature, whether it's sending them information and letting people know about any kind of specials you might be doing, developing that relationship however you can, and using the event as an excuse. I saw that you're interested. I saw you couldn't make it. What were you interested in that I get you information on? So the fortune is in the follow-up.
That is so true, Melissa. And I don't know if anyone else has had this challenge in their business, but I have started to think of follow-up as part of my strong close, because I was great at inviting. I would do a fabulous class, and then at the end of my class, I'd go, it's over, I'm done. And so there were all these wonderful people who just weren't ready to get started at a class, who went off and got started with somebody else, or never made the changes that they were ready to make because I didn't take the next step. So start thinking of your follow-up as part of the close, if you need to do that it's still part of the class, and you're still helping to educate people until they start making these changes, maybe even all the way until on essential rewards. It's part of the class. All right, so the next question we had in our Facebook group, this came from Valerie. Valerie, you on tonight? Let's see. Yes, there you are. Hi, Val. So she has a couple of people. She signed up at a vendor event and has been trying to follow up with them but never get a response. I've emailed and I've done Facebook messages with no response. I know I should call. Should I just stop there? Okay, I know I should call, but I also know they work full-time. How should I get them to stay interested in Young Living?
I send an email and text message when I have a couple of people that are in the same boat, where I sign them up via vendor event and they order, but they don't respond to text message or phone call in a timely manner, but I know that they're ordering, so I send them the promotion via text message, and I send information because I know they read it, but they don't respond.
Yeah, I'm a big snail mail person. I actually take the time to send them a handwritten note that says, hey, Jesse, sent you a couple of emails. I never know what happens in cyberspace, but I really just wanted to reach out to you, let you know that I'm here for you. I do an introduction, and I'll either enclose like a thieves cough drop or a thieves lozenge. I put in all the information for it. If I've had trouble getting them, because I have quite a few orphans, I actually will go 6 months and then I'll actually send them a gift if they're on Essential Rewards, just to remind them that I'm there. And I actually just got a brand new business builder because I took the time to send one of them a game plan mini. And she called me up and said, I've just been thinking about this. And she's actually my Facebook Live. We have 2 of them. I mean, my Facebook event this week, we have 2 of them. So I think that snail mail is also a good way to do it. I know it's not the favorite place, but you have a good chance. And I never put it in. It's always a handwritten note. The handwritten label. I never use any mailing labels, because people will open up something if it's done in your handwriting just every day. It's much more interesting, I think, and much more of a chance that they'll actually open that up.
And I just wanted to add and preface this by saying phone calls are great, are the best, and mail especially for people that you're not connected with otherwise. But I love my Marketing Sense. So Marketing Sense is a third-party tool, if you haven't heard of it, that has a wonderful newsletter, and I put everybody in the product users because that campaign is the longest, and I just love being able to stay in front of people. Even if they are not opening the emails, I feel like if they don't unsubscribe and they still get my emails after years and years, because I'll just I'll re-add them to the list to start the campaign over when they've finished. I feel like it's a great way to stay in front of people. It's a good base in case you're interested. And I did not know that it was a free, so just make sure that you let your team know that you have Marketing Sense so they could use you as a referral. So I paid for it for years because I never gave anybody my referral number. But I still think it was absolutely worth it for me because follow-up is something that I am getting stronger with every day.
Yeah, and those of you who don't like to do the phone call, I mean, I know that there are a lot of people don't like to pick up the phone. If you send someone snail mail, say, hey, listen, and I'm going to call you this week. Sometimes it's a mind game, right? Sometimes you have to play tricks with your mind. So you text them that you're going to actually call them, or you email that you're going to call them, or you send it in a letter. It's easier to pick up that phone and do it because now you've said you're going to do it. And if you don't do it, you're actually disappointing them. And again, some people think nothing of picking up a phone. There are others that just the thought of even dialing that phone, it just puts you into a tailspin. So if you have to play games with yourself and tell someone that you're going to call them, and then when you call them, hey, listen, then it's up to them whether or not they answer, right? And if they say, oh, why are you calling me? Say, oh, I sent you a letter or I sent you a text. I told you I was going to call you. And I put my phone number down. They see my phone number and they see it's a 401 and they don't know what it is. They go, oh, that's that girl. I'm not going to answer it. No big deal.
And I also think realizing that some people will just never communicate with you. You know, I've got all kinds of people. I've got the people who are like, oh my God, you texted me. This is so cool. I can't believe you follow up. I can't wait. And every time I call, they answer their phone. And then I get the medium people that occasionally do and occasionally don't. And then I get the people, seriously, it's like they are MIA. And I do what I can, and I do reach out periodically, but I don't put my time into these people. I put my time into these people, and these people are usually 80% of my paycheck anyway. So I think, you know, when I first started, I put all of this attention. What can I do to get them to respond? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I send out a welcome package. I do 2 or 3 follow-up calls. They're on my Marketing Sense, and then I'm done. They get that occasional email about the promo. I usually do about once a month. I send out an email with different ideas. But these are the people who get all my attention, and that's what I encourage you for you to do, is just to give them a chance. If they don't want it, that's fine. These people get all of your attention.
Yeah, and someone asked, when should you stop? I would say you stop communicating through Marketing Sense or whatever when they tell you not to talk to them anymore, right? So if you're going to send something out, if they're on Marketing Sense and they're keep putting them on. If you send out something every 6 months to everybody in your line, or you pick them, just keep them in that line. I mean, again, I wouldn't ever stop because you don't know when they're going to be ready. But like Laura said, I wouldn't necessarily waste a lot of time with it. But don't completely drop them off the end of the earth either if you've got a great tool like a Marketing Sense or something where it's going to keep in touch with them, or any one of the, you know, the tools where you enter their email and they get something from you. Until the day they tell you not to, don't stop.
And every once in a while, I will just for giggles to see what can happen, is I'll send out 20 care packages to these people just out of curiosity. Will they actually respond? And occasionally I get 2 or 3 who say, oh gosh, that was really nice of you. And quite frankly, it's not like they're avoiding you. 9 times out of 10, it's just because life is busy and they don't want one more thing on their list, and that's fine. And it's just my way of saying, I'm still thinking about you. And I'll even say, look, I know life is busy because I handwrite. I'm like Susan, I handwrite that note. I handwrite the address. It's all by hand. I use my minions. I've got children who help me, and I pay them $5 an hour to help me. But I say, I know life is busy. I totally get it. And I just want you to know that I'm here, and if you need anything. and just enjoy these samples as a gift from me.
Yep. In all the time I've done this, I've only had one person tell me never to call again. And he wasn't even mean about it. He's like, I'm really not interested. I don't need you to call me. I'll call you if I need anything. I said, okay, whatever.
And aren't you grateful? Because you're like, great,
Yeah,
I know. Like, I'd rather know and then be done and cross them off.
Yep, take them off the list. Absolutely.
And I just want to say, I've had people on my marketing sense list that I've somehow met at a vendor fair or at an event, and 2 years later, I see them in a parking lot, and I don't even remember who they are. And they're like, Melissa, I got your email today about lemon oil. I think I'm ready. And then they sign up, and I'm like, okay. So, yeah, just stay in front of them. Don't lose hope.
Yeah, I was actually one of those people.
Oops, sorry.
I was one of those people. My dear friend now who introduced me to the oils dripped on me for a year with email before I was ready. So I didn't call her. She didn't call me. I preferred it that way. I just read her emails, and when I was ready, I was ready. Laura, did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, I was just going to ask Val if that, does that help? Do you feel like you have a direction for your stuff? Okay, good.
Great.
Thanks.
We had a lot to say on that one, apparently. Good question.
Yeah. All right. So into our chat questions, this is from Amanda. A question: who have you asked to add the 50 people? So this is in the Facebook marketing. New people, builders, both. Okay.
I can answer that one because I'm doing that. Actually, I figured them out today because I scheduled my event for right after convention. And I chose, I didn't do any new people because I wanted people who are loving their oils. So I chose one new builder and two more people who will, who love their oils and who are on ER. They haven't gotten back to me yet. I mean, I'm guessing the builder is going to say yes, but the other two, I don't know. And I have a whole list of about 25 people who I know who are loving their oils that I'm just going to go click, click, click right down the list, starting with the legs I'm working on.
Laura, take a little time. Just tell people what we're talking about here so that everybody knows the background of where the question came from.
Okay, so one of Sarah's techniques for filling events is whether it's a virtual event or a live event, you set up a Facebook event. And you set it up through your personal page, and you invite 3 people to go in and invite 50 people. Like, just to go in and go, if you're familiar with Facebook events, if you're not, just experiment with this so you know what I'm talking about. But there's a button where you can click invite, and all of your Facebook friends come up. And what's kind of cool is Facebook now organizes it in an algorithm, so the people you have the most contact with show up at the top. So I actually have 5,000 friends, but I don't see all 5,000 alphabetical, which is what I used to, and I have to, like, days would go by before I got to the S's. Now at the top are all the people that I do the most liking, and they like my stuff. So go through, you're gonna ask 3 of your friends to go through and just click 50 people. And the 50 of their followers, right? And then you give them a gift, a thank you gift for doing that. I am choosing people who are already using oils because then you also want them to leave a message in the event that edifies you and the products. Oh my gosh, I love Laura. She's amazing. She loves these oils. I've been using these oils for the last 3 months. I'm in love with them. You're totally going to love them. It's going to help with sleep, whatever they want to write in the event.
Yeah, and so, and you know, Laura, here's a question that had come up in my team this week, and I haven't done a lot of these events, so I'm really not that good. When you do that, when you invite a business builder to your Facebook event, who gets the enrollment?
Oh, the builder.
Yep.
Yeah. Because at the end, we always say at the end of our events, go back to the person who sent you to this event and say, oh my God, I'm in, this is amazing. If you don't, if nobody sent you to the event, here's the link. I put my link, and then what I do is if it's my personal event, I'll take the enrollership and I'll put them wherever I need them on the team. But if it's a team event that I'm sponsoring, but it's for our whole team, I then I place people wherever, you know, and whatever leaders, teams that were active in the event. Does that make sense to everyone?
Or the person who invited them to the event.
Yeah.
Well,
you can see that.
Well, here's the thing is I say if someone sent you to the event, oh, I see what you're saying. So if someone said no one sent me, but I can see who invited them, just in case, yes, for sure. But my assumption is these are the people that that if they were invited by someone, they would go back to that person and say, okay, I'm ready. I get a lot, because I do have 5,000 friends, I get a lot of people on these events who are relatively random. So in which case then I place them under people on my team.
I'm wondering, so there was a little bit, we found an error, right, in Sarah's book about to make these events public. So I've got one coming up on Saturday. It's at the local coffee house. I made the public event, or the event public, you know, and I used my personal page. So it's not showing up on my personal page, but what I'm finding is my friends who I've not even invited must have already been able to see that I created this event. Is that I'm seeing people nod their heads.
And what will happen is as people start adding themselves to it, or you add them, it'll pop up again on the news feed, as well as if when you start putting posts in the event.
Okay. So my only concern with that, you know, this first one, it doesn't matter because I haven't done this before via Facebook. Before, you know, I've been very careful to keep my personal page not all about the oils. But if I'm doing 4 to 6 events a month and I'm making them public events on Facebook, and it's good, I'm just a little worried that it's going to totally like be what people will see in their newsfeed about me. Is anybody else thought about that?
If I can answer that, I think that she actually suggests that you keep the events private, not public.
That's what she wrote in the book.
And that is what she intends, so that
No,
only
she
people who are
wants,
invited.
no, she doesn't. She wants them public. In her video, she says, I'm so sorry, you guys, that was a typo. You want it public so as many people can see it as possible.
But then you're spamming everybody. I personally think keep it private so it's only the people who are invited.
But the only thing with that is when you are posting, if you're posting and they're not invited to the event, if you have a personal specific oil Facebook page and you've posted it on there, then it comes up as attachment unavailable. So and then you can't change it to a public setting even for a short period of time. Facebook changed that within the last month.
Keep in mind, Tricia, the only people that will see it are the people who are invited.
If it's a public event, it's going to keep showing up on your timeline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Only if people are invited. So
So Laura, yesterday I created my first event, Catching Up, and your husband Ron liked my event.
I also saw it.
And okay, so Amanda saw it too. And I go on my personal page and it's not showing up. And like I said, for this first one, it does, you know, oh, cool. I might end up getting some people who are saying they're interested, even though I haven't even invited them yet. But I just worry that if I'm going to continue to keep these public, that's going to be what people see then.
Yeah, we're doing, or at least in the training that we're working on now, we're telling them that if it's a Facebook event, not somewhere where you're going to go to a coffee shop, that we keep it private and only those people are invited, and we allow people who are invited to invite people.
Right.
So it's so that way, I don't know how many you would host in a coffee shop in a month, but if you're only doing one coffee shop in a month and all the rest are Facebook events, then it would only be once a month that would show up. It wouldn't be as bad as if you're doing 4 coffee shop events every month and then it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, except I think, I mean, if I'm reading this correctly, like even the ones that I'm going to be hosting in my house, in order to hype them, and this will be a change for me, and I'm kind of excited about this, that, you know, people are inviting to it, and then I can do hype posts to get people excited for coming. So it's not that I'm necessarily trying to attract random people. Amanda, what do you want to say?
No, I'm just putting my hand up as a idea, but you still want the people that are going to be interested to see it. So Susan had a great point on the fact that if it's a Facebook event, that's going to end up being a lot of posts. you're only posting 1 to 2 posts per day.
Right.
Max, which is very similar to what we're posting a day on our Facebook
Right.
pages
Yeah.
anyway. So just getting people like, and then you'll get the random person that actually just saw it as it goes down on your page during the day and
Yep.
being like, I wanted to go to your event and I haven't been able to
Yeah.
and even if there's a couple events, I don't think that's going to be a bad
Well,
thing,
I
because
will
then they
say
can
that if
pick
you're using this as your marketing system and you're doing 4 to 6 classes a month, 4 to 6 a month, and you're using this as your marketing system and you're just plugging in the same post to each event, for me, I'm using it as a private, so that only the people who are invited can see those posts, and I don't have to worry about changing the wording for the second event. I can use the same posts in each of my events for the month. So I'll just put that out there as an option for you.
Yeah, I think it's comfort. I think really it's really comfort what you do. Like some people post a lot on Facebook, some people don't post a lot on Facebook. I think, and again, I think that certain events, if you were going to hold it, you want it to be public. If you're going to do that coffee shop once a month and you really want to get anybody, but it's very different if you're going to host a Facebook event that's targeted to a certain audience. So I think that some of it just comes down to what your comfort level is.
Okay, so let me just ask, Abby, what you're saying is when Ron liked it,
Yep.
it showed up in the news feed again for everybody? That's your question, is you don't really know, right?
I
You're
was
seeing it?
surprised that I had people already seeing it, but I think it's just like where, you sometimes get notified that you have friends that like Madison Reed organic hair dye or whatever. You sometimes get notified that people like certain things or somebody set up an event, and I'm guessing that's probably how it came through. I don't know. I couldn't see it. So as other people, maybe Amanda, if you just want to, as I set more up, be my little person that be like, oh my gosh, Abby, the only stuff coming through on your news feed is.
I set up 4 the other day.
Okay, I didn't see any of those, so.
And they're all public.
It's my understanding that it will show up when you set it up so that people can see it. But it only will show up, your posts will only show up in the news feeds of the people who say, yes, I'm coming.
Okay.
Or maybe.
Because that's the point, is we want our hype post to show up in their news feeds. But because it's public, it means that friends of friends can see it.
Mm-hmm.
So because Ron liked it, Ron's friends can see it if it's public. This will be our experiment for sure. And you know what? The algorithms change so often in Facebook that you can't even do research on it, because that could be old news already.
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna have to play with it and see. And maybe if you're noticing, we can post it in the Facebook page. And that's what she's saying, is we want friends of friends of friends of friends to see it.
Yep.
But at the same time, if it means that, like Abby, every time you post, it's going to show up in your news feed, that would be really annoying if you're doing 6 events a month.
Yeah.
For sure.
Agreed.
I was just looking through your news feed though, hun, and I didn't see any mention for me on any of it. So.
All right, cool.
All right, that's a good question.
I think this is a good one. And if you would all post in our group and keep us up to date on what you're finding with this, I think that would be really helpful to everyone. Okay, are we good to move on to the next question? All right, so this is from Whitney. I sent my manager at work a sample of Thieves. She loved it, signed up as a distributor under me, and purchased a bottle of the oil, but didn't buy the starter kit. I've mentioned that she'd love it, and she was interested, but hasn't ordered the kit. She's the very first person under me. Any suggestions on now what? Oh, yes. We have some thoughts for you. This is often happens when we're first getting started. We're just so excited that somebody's interested and they love the oils and they want to try them, that we Yes, go ahead. We'll let you buy just that one bottle of Thieves. For me, what I found is that I feel like I'm doing someone a disservice if I let them just get that one bottle. Our starter collection is a collection of oils that really is intended to help with so many different things. So I think this is a matter of education. You might want to burn a copy of that Essential Oils 101 or the Toxin-Free Household lecture from Sarah and give her that to listen to. I think it's really a matter of educating and helping her see the value of the whole kit. But I'll turn it over to our other leaders and let them add their thoughts on this one as well.
I'll say that I think once I mean, it's reiterating with what Trisha already said, but once you really personally know the value of the starter kit and are able to share that, that's really it. Once they see how they will use all the oils, and of course they're going to want a diffuser, and you know, it's below even the wholesale cost of all of that together, not to mention something that's pretty much half off.
Now let her use your diffuser. I mean, again, if you can't seem to get her on because you've already jumped into the Thieves, let her use the diffuser and then go back again. If you get the starter kit, you could be diffusing this one and that one and this one and that one. People love the diffuser.
A loaner diffuser.
I also love, I've switched using, it's only $160 to, Young Living's put this great kit together and it's actually 50% off a retail cost at $160. Just the way that switched, I have, instead of going from before, it was, ooh, that's a lot, to, oh, that's not too bad.
Great point, Amanda. Any other thoughts on that question?
Yeah, Whitney put in a post. Did you see what Whitney put in, Trisha?
Further down, let's see.
She's a single mom of 4 kids, so YL would be a great idea for her. I'm in Indy, she's in St. Louis. She already has a few diffusers, so she's not new to oils, just our oils.
Right. Okay. So I think this is another great opportunity to, maybe send her the link to that scavenger hunt and watch it together. That's a great place to help people see the value of using the oils with their kiddos.
I got to say that if she's got all that, in my book, I would actually sit down with her a cup of coffee and say, hey, can I ask you a question? I know you're interested in Young Living and you're using other oils. What do you need to know so that I know that I can get you to switch to something that's clean? I mean, it might just be time to throw the gauntlet down and say, are you really interested? I'd love to get you set up. It drives me crazy to think that you're using bad, oils that could potentially be hurting you when I know you love Young Living. I mean, at some point you just want to be honest to engine with them. What's the deal? She might tell you it's too expensive. And then that's your opportunity to say, did you know you can actually get your oils for free? You use them, you love them. I bet you're sharing them with other people. What a great opportunity. Not only can you get your kit for free, but let's host a 101, invite a few friends. You could get your kit and you might actually have a little business.
Go over the seed to seal process with her.
Absolutely. Why should she be using these? One of my gals, we did a 101 on Friday night, and a woman who bought a kit a long time ago, about a year ago, under someone else, brought her kit, and underneath where all the oils were tucked, she had 7 other different oil brands. I mean, it was the perfect opportunity because she didn't set up with our team, so she brought it because she was with other people from the team. It was fabulous because then we could say, okay, let's talk about this. Do you know what these oils could be? And you could see all the different things on the background. And she immediately was like, okay, I got to throw all these away. I mean, she liked Young Living, but now she knows why. So sometimes it's just a matter of really, like you said, it's just a matter of really explaining why they need Young Living.
And also, do they know what each one of the other oils and blends are good for too? I mean, the Thieves, that she may have really heard the story and it's like, oh my God, I need that. We need people to feel that way about every one of the oils. Like, I need to go put pan away on my hip right now. So,
more kids, right? There's got to be something for every one of those children.
I think there were some great ideas in the chat as well. I think we caught all of them in our conversation, so I'm not going to double back on that. How was that, Whitney? Was that helpful? Okay, she's got herself on mute, so I'm hoping she's given us some good feedback in the chat. So yeah,
it was thanks.
Okay, awesome.
Sorry, I muted myself.
Oh no, that's fine. We understand.
It was really helpful. Thanks.
Great, awesome. Okay, next we had a question from Val. At what point do you stop following up? I have people I know and do not know personally. If they say they're interested, then stop responding. At what point do you stop? And Val, if you're comfortable, I think we've covered that a fair amount in the previous conversation. So we'll go ahead and move on. And this goes back to the online questions. If you ask your business builders to invite friends, do you feel that you have to place signups under them? Well, goodness, I absolutely would. If you're because they're giving you their own prospects. So certainly I would put them back under them. Let them help you decide where in the team they want them. Any other thoughts from our leaders on that?
Yeah, I completely agree. They're referrals, and it only helps you in the end too, because it'll help you start building your legs.
You put them in enroller and sponsor?
I do. I give them both. Yes.
I just want to double check because that's what I feel would be right, but just checking.
Yeah, and I also think that for those of you who have people who are that gray area, you don't know whether they're going to be a business builder or not. You know, it's a conversation that you need to be aware of. If you think that they are going to be a business builder, but you don't know, so that was one that came up on mine again the other day, is how do you handle that? You know, you've got all these people, they're inviting all these people, but they haven't said they want to be a business builder, but they might want to be. Do you give them the enrollment or the sponsor? I'd be curious, Laura, what you do.
I do both. So every situation is different. If someone is truly a builder, I give lock, stock, and barrel. They're going to do the follow-up. They're going to do it's theirs. If they are someone who just doesn't want to build, is just doing the party as a gift kind of thing, I give them the sponsorship, I take the enrollership, and I do all of the follow-up, and I give them a really lovely gift. I've also done where I give them the $25, so I just pay them $25 for the referral. So then they're getting a check and they're feeling it. It depends. Every single situation. There are certain people that I know will never build. I just have this feeling they're not going to build and it's not going to happen, and I'm going to do all of the follow-up and all of the work around it and then I feel comfortable taking the enrollership. But I will put the people under them still.
I'll also share that if I end up doing, like if a person doesn't enroll at the event, at the class or workshop, and I really work on following up with them sometimes months later, and I finally get somebody to enroll, even if they have come with a friend, at that point I really feel like, hey, I did the work. I am going to take that. I'll put the person in the sponsor, but then I do call and I tell their friend, hey, she finally decided she was going to get it. And, you know, I put her under you. And so, you know, you can be able to support her still. And like Laura said, I mean, you could always send the $25 or a gift or something. But I feel like if they didn't, you know, if they didn't help their friend get the starter kit within a couple days after the class, like that feels okay to me.
Okay, let's go on to the next question. This is from Val. She says, what do you include in your welcome package to new enrollees? And you know me, I said it last week, I'm a big old green and I love systems. So I'm going to say, try Sarah's suggestions, because then it's really easy to tell your leaders, gosh, it's already laid out for you in the book, or go to our website, click on the link for the purple bags. But I know there are other things that some of us include as well. Particularly with my personal enrollees, I do send them a welcome package that includes some Epsom salts and some veggie caps and a couple things to help them have those first experiences with their oils. I do love that welcome book, the Jordan Schrant welcome book. and I include that. That's from Life Science Publishing. And I'll pass it on and let our other leaders share what else they like to include.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're directing that at me because I mentioned I send out a welcome package. So I do a similar one to Tricia to my own personal enrollees, or I give them a little gift bag if we're in person, and it's based on the Bloom system. So if you're not familiar with Bloom, you're going to want to find the Bloom Facebook page. It's open to all anyone. It's an open group. In their files section, they have a really great 3-month care club all mapped out. And I follow that for my initial gift to them. That's for my personal enrollees. Now, I also send out a welcome package to people who are under me who aren't supported by people. So on the first of the month, I print out my new members, and now it's still relatively low, so I can still do this. It's going to get a little shady pretty soon because it's getting to be quite a few people. But I go through each one and I see the people who aren't being supported by an active builder, right? So I know they haven't been welcomed, and I send them. I have a 4x6 envelope, so it's about like that big, and it takes a standard stamp, and I put in it a postcard from, I think we get them from KRE Publishing, which is all of the starter kit, all the oils that come in the starter kit, how you use them. And on the other side, it has how you use essential oils. It talks about the safety usage of them. I also include a letter from me that basically says, welcome, I'm here to support you. I'll be calling you, because I call them the next week. And I'm really excited to have you here. Be sure you check out our Facebook page. Be sure you know about care calls that we're happy to do, and also that you know that you can get a $50 check to share the oils. I included it. There's this really great 28-day premium starter kit challenge that somebody put out, and you can Google it. It's premium starter kit challenge, and it's just 2 pages front and back, and it's really pretty. It's color. I print it front and back, fold it up, stick it in there. And I also include another postcard from Carrie on toxins in your house. And on the other side, it talks about some oil recipes you can do. So that's what I included in it. And I will say it changes. That's basically what I have. I have a box that I actually have. Here's a little hint for you. I have a box, one of my shipping boxes, a little one, that I have the envelopes in, my return address labels. I do Happy Mail stickers. They're these round stickers that I found on Avery. And Avery.com, you can put in the template, the Avery sticker template that you have, and you can then create a design and then print it. It's really cool. So I say I loosely, my daughter created stickers, Happy Mail stickers that I print and I put on everything I mail out, and I'm actually become known for the Happy Mail, getting Happy Mail from me. And sometimes it's packages or giveaways. I always put the Happy Mail sticker on it. And then I do a handwritten note. So I include that in there too.
Great, thank you. And thank you for those of you that have been posting the Facebook group information for Bloom. They've got great tools for you there in their files. Yeah, I use a lot of their tools as well. Any other thoughts on the welcome packages?
I just wanted to also share that if someone is underneath somebody that doesn't have marketing sense, I always send them a welcome email as well and put them on marketing sense. I feel like everyone should have that kind of email information. So if your leader or somebody above the new person is not going to welcome them with an email and add them to the marketing sense and explain that they're there for X, Y, or Z, then definitely reach out as the leader. And yeah, I've gotten a lot of people that haven't had strong leadership end up, pulling up, and I'm just grateful that I do that, because you never know. You'll never know what they want, whether it's to have a party or to get started in the business or just product questions. Good.
Awesome. Thank you, Melissa. Okay. We also had some conversation going on in chat about a couple of apps that are really helpful. Think Dirty and the Healthy Living app. And I think those are both from Environmental Working Group. Can someone just shake their head yes or no? No?
Healthy Living is Environmental Working Group. I don't think Think Dirty is, though.
Okay, but these apps allow you to scan products, the barcode on a product either at home or in a grocery store. And it's a great way to help people look up what's in the products that they may be using. So this is a great third-party tool to have handy. I think we have covered the questions in the chat and our Facebook group. So we'll just open it up to the floor if anyone has anything else that's on their mind that they'd like to ask about tonight. Feel free.
Add me to that group because I can't find it on Facebook. It's closed now. I think that it's closed.
What?
The Bloom group.
Oh, that they're not letting people in?
I copied and pasted the Bloom Ride to Wellness Young Living, and it's not popping up on the Young Living.
Are you already a member of the Bloom?
Nope.
You have to be, I think you have to be invited. I don't think it's one that you can request to join.
It's a,
so maybe that means.
But even Bloom as a whole, like I couldn't find just the straight up Bloom.
I just found it. It's the Path to Wellness. Try the Path to Wellness. They did a launch that was called the Ride to Wellness, but I just found it there. It's the Path.
The other thing I wanted us to talk about is in Sarah's approach. So she's talking about the purple bags and what's in those, and it's like sign up information and her member ID number and all of that. I would assume that most of us are really trying to help folks get enrolled right then, and how it's even super easier now, using our phones. Is that what everybody is doing? Or because it seemed a little bit like her approach is more like do our strong close and then we can help you sign up if you want, but totally do it at home if you want to.
Abby, thank you for asking that. I apologize. I did see that in the chat. Yes, I think I certainly do everything I can to help people make that decision to get started right on the spot so that I can help them get set up, make sure their order goes through. But I do love the idea of making sure they have something in their hands as they walk out the door, a sample, the information, because you will get those people, like Susan said, that are like out the door before you even finish talking. So you want to be sure they know how to get started when they're ready. Other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that you always want to close the night that they're there if you can. Anything you can close at a workshop, close at a workshop, because people go away and then, there's always that momentum that happens at a workshop where other people are setting up accounts and it's great and everybody gets going. Then you get home and life gets busy and you forget. And then, oh, I know that Susan calling me to set up that kid. I don't have my credit card on me. And before you know it, it can get away from you. And that's when someone else can just swoop in and say, hey, I do that too. Why don't you set up under me? So I think that any time that you can get them set up, you should. And if you know they want to set up, you need to follow up as soon as possible. I think that, although I think leaving with the information to set up if they didn't, but I would, I really think that you want to, if nothing else, tag team and say, okay, we're here. Hillary and I did this the other night. Hillary's on the call. We did the other night. I sat and chatted with everybody. She took the computer out and she set everybody up. And it really makes a big difference. You want to close them then if you can.
I also use that time once I've got them set up to show them how to get back into their virtual office quick, because that is a big thing for people. They're like, I just don't get it. I don't blah, blah, blah. And if I can at least show them how to get in and the what's on the left-hand side and how they can go in and learn and that sort of thing, it just saves me a step in the long run, and it makes them feel more comfortable as well.
Yeah, and if you're using Terry Seacrest 31030, when you talk to them and you set them up for an account, you want to say to them, hey, listen, about 10 days from now, I'm going to give you a call, and I'm going to try to do it at a time when you're at your computer, because I actually want to go in I want to show you how to go around your office, but more importantly, I want you to go in and look to see where your starter kit is if it hasn't arrived yet. Because every so often, we all know it's happened. If you haven't been around a while, you'll know. Sometimes a glitch can happen in the order of your starter kit. And if you are checking in at 10 days and they haven't gotten their starter kit, which those of us on the East Coast, many times we haven't, you can at least go in and they can track their kit and know that it's been ordered. And if it's not, that's your opportunity to immediately call and get it sent. And they will overnight it if for some reason it has been lost. But there's nothing worse if you're not doing that follow-up. And when you follow up like a month later and they say, well, I haven't gotten my kit yet. I mean, why didn't you call me? Well, it's been busy. You've now created a monster because now they have a bad taste over the fact that they didn't get it. So that 3-10-30 allows you to A, check up with them, B, show them that the office, the back office, and 3, actually find out where their kit is if it hasn't arrived yet.
Okay, well, we're getting pretty close to the hour, so I want to honor everyone's time. I will take on the responsibility of checking into the Bloom Facebook group to see if we can still add people to that. And if we can, I will be happy to add you to it. I'll figure out some easy way so we don't make a mess in our cross-plan group post there. But there is just so much amazing training coming your way this week. If you haven't already, please complete your tracker and get that to your leader so that they can get you in for their drawings for this week. And we look forward to being in touch with you during the week. Have an amazing, amazing week. I'll throw it out to our leaders if they have something else they'd like to share before we ring off for the night.
Just for me is that, remember, the week after we are at convention, and it's a good time to catch up if you're not going to convention, or if you're going to convention, and we'll send you Facebook Lives from convention on the days that we normally do. So exciting to see, to get off to convention.
I was going to say what she said. So you guys just keep going. You're doing an amazing job, and just know your business is going to take off.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a wonderful evening.
Great week, everyone.
Thanks.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.